Chapter 3. There are plenty of good black men. They just don't want your ass. I know. That was a little harsh. But I am so sick and tired of women saying that there are no good black men. That cannot be more far from the truth. And that statement makes me sick to my stomach. The truth is that the good black men are either having a hard time finding the qualities they are looking for in black women, or black women won't give them the time of day. Let me explain. First of all, black women act as if having a good black man is an entitlement. Most black women do not feel as if they have to do anything to prepare themselves to be courted by a good man. A recent study I read stated that 70% of interracial marriages contained a black male. If this is true, the Caucasian, Asian, and Hispanic women don't seem to have a problem getting a good black man. So ask yourself, what are they doing that you are not? Keep thinking. I'll tell you in next chapter. First of all, if getting a husband is a goal of yours, then you should treat it as such. If you want to get a master's degree, you must go to graduate school. If you aspire to be an attorney, then you must attend law school. And if you want to be a physician, you must attend medical school. Sometimes, life requires you to do things that you don't want to do in order to get where you want to be. So, many black women, in a sense, want to be lawyers, but they don't want to go to law school. What I mean by that is, they refuse to accept the circumstances in which a good man will have them. For the rest of this book, the term law school will be representative of learning those qualities and actions most men require from women in order to consider them as potential marriage material. The term bar exam will represent becoming good at these things. The term lawyer will refer to obtaining a serious relationship. The term law firm will refer to men, and to make partner will represent marriage. 2 weeks ago, I was watching the Tyra Banks show, and she had an episode in which she entitled The Black Women's State of the Union Address. I just had to watch it because I knew it would contain a lot of inspiration for this book. On her panel, she had several black men who were there to answer questions and provide insight for the women in the audience. Yet, every time those men, who were all telling the truth by the way, answered a question or made a comment, the audience would begin to boo unanimously. That's the problem. These men expressed how most black men feel, and some of the qualities that not just black men, but men in general require in women. Instead of the sisters taking heed and listening, they decided to tell the men their opinion was wrong, and then proceeded to tell the men what the problem was. Question: how the hell black women gonna tell black men the reason why many black men will commit to women of other races and not black women? That's like you shopping for a house and your real estate agent trying to tell you the reason why you don't like certain houses. You would probably tell them that what you like and don't like is your decision, and you have your own reasons for that. And that would be a correct statement. The answers that the men gave were simply things that many black women are just not willing to do. And therefore, the outcome is 70% of successful black women being single. Sorry, sisters, but you've got to go to law school. What this means is you have to be the kind of women that successful men want, not the type of women that you think successful men should want. Remember that a man that is good looking and has himself together financially pretty much has his pick of women. So he will be unwilling to take a lot of shit that other men would be willing to accept. In the first chapter of the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Dr. Covey discusses the topic of perception. He gives an example of a person in central Chicago trying to get to a specific location using a map. However, due to a printing error, the map labeled Chicago was actually a map of Detroit. Dr. Covey goes on to explain how frustrating a situation like that could be. You could follow that map with great diligence, but yet would never reach your destination. He discussed how you could work on your behavior and begin to try harder, but that would just result in you getting to the wrong place faster. Then he talks about how you could change your attitude about the situation and how that would only lead to you feeling better about being in the wrong place because you would still be lost. I chose to use this example because it represents the problem that many Black women face when it comes to finding a man. You assess all of the qualities that you want in the man of your dreams, and then you strive to achieve those qualities yourself. Then once you achieve success, you wonder why you can't find a man. It's because you followed the wrong map. You followed the map of how to get a good woman, not the map of how to get a good man. If you were a male, with all of your success and accomplishments, you would have plenty of women. But that alone will not help you get a man unless he is broke, trying to live off of you, or needs your help. Otherwise, you must also possess the type of physical appearance and attitude that men find attractive. In order to get an attractive, successful man, you must first be in shape. Be attractive. Try to avoid having 2 and 3 baby daddies. Talk with some intelligence. Be willing to cook for him sometimes. Do domestic work, because no man likes a filthy woman. Fuck his brains out. And to chill with the disrespectful, loud talking, and eye rolling. After those things, then your accomplishments and career come in just as an added bonus. Now understand that you do not have to get straight A's in law school, but you must go. This means that you do not have to be perfect at everything, and I don't think many men expect that of women. But I do think they expect women make a conscious effort to at least have a C+ average. However, once those women obtain those qualities, they should continuously study and prepare for the bar exam. It is important to remember that the better grades you get and the better you do on the bar, the better chance you have of working for one of the top law firms and eventually making partner. Those women that refuse to go to law school must accept the fact that they will probably never become lawyers at a top law firm, and you definitely won't make partner. They may have to settle for being the firm's secretary. What this means is that a man may date you, he might even be your boyfriend, but he won't make a lifelong commitment and marry you. So therefore, the question becomes, how bad do you really want to become a lawyer? If you are too lazy or too stubborn to go to law school, then don't complain when the law firms won't hire you. For those women that do attend law school but fail to receive good grades, you must realize that while you may become an attorney for a firm, it probably won't be one of the top firms. The top firms are looking for top law school graduates. So, if you have a C or D average, then you might have to settle for one of the lower ranked firms. I have heard many women state that they feel that they should not have to lower their standards, and they have the right to feel that way. But frankly, I don't see how C or D students can feel as though they deserve to be attorneys and make partner at top law firms. That's an unreasonable expectation. These women must also accept that they will be interviewed by a lot of law firms before finally getting hired, which means many men will spend time and have sex with these women. They will give these women the false impression that they will make a commitment to them, but most of them will not. However, if they interview well, eventually they will be able to obtain a position at the firm. And if they work there long enough, they might make partner due to their seniority with the firm. In other words, this means the man may decide to marry the woman simply due to the fact that he's been in the relationship for 10 years. In this respect, it is important to realize that the interviewing process is a lot like a FICO score. You see, too many inquiries to your credit report lowers your score. This is because if you apply for too much credit, it makes it seem as if you are desperate for credit. It also gives creditors the impression that you are high risk, because if the other lenders do not want you as a customer, chances are you don't fit the typical standard of a good client. What this means is, Even though it is necessary to date different men in order to develop a relationship that has the potential to evolve into something more serious, it is not wise to be fucking every single man that you go out with. It is quite all right to just date. If the man is truly interested in you, he won't have a problem with waiting a while for the privilege of having sex with you. However, if you have sex with too many men, you risk the chance of losing the respect of those men who otherwise would take you as a candidate for a serious relationship or marriage. Sex with too many men also lowers the amount of leverage you have while the man is in the waiting period. Why should he wait on you for the next 3 to 6 months when you've already slept with every Tom, Dick, and Harry? You cannot expect a man that has knowledge of you being promiscuous to wait a long period of time to sleep with you. He will take that as an insult. Now you're probably saying to yourself, in the last chapter, you said that we must disclose our sexual history to the man if he asks. How will I get him to wait for me if I tell him that I was promiscuous? Well, the answer is quite simple. If you want to maintain the respect of the A man, don't be promiscuous. This way, you can be honest and still have his respect. I understand that women have physical needs. I am not saying that women have to practice abstinence their whole lives in order to gain the respect of men. What I'm saying is that out of all the men that you date and go out with, you should only sleep with about 20% or less of them. How many times you sleep with that same 20% is not an issue. Using the example of women are like cars, excessive sexual relations with the 20% would be considered highway mileage. The biggest complaint that I hear from black men is that they get no respect from their black women. Understand me, ladies. No real man, especially one with options, is going to allow his manhood to be challenged by his woman on a continuous basis. I understand that in relationships, there will be arguments and disagreements, and women should absolutely feel free to express their opinion. However, it has been my experience and the experience of every black man that I know that many black women have a problem submitting to their man. If you won't submit, he won't commit. As I stated in the prologue of this book, there are exceptions to every rule. So when I make statements, I am only speaking about the majority of men, not all. But remember that the chances are you and your situations are not the exception to the rule. There are some instances where men will accept being challenged. If you are married, have children, or both, this creates somewhat of a stranglehold on the man. He has to decide whether the stress of divorce or paying child support is worth exchanging for getting cussed out by his woman. Often, they will just choose to stay. However, they will find other ways to regain their manhood. I will go into detail on that topic a little later. Then, there are the B men that have the finances but not the looks. If the woman is really sexy and attractive, or at least more attractive than the women that the man is accustomed to dating, then he might accept a little more shit, because for him, that woman might be a little difficult to replace. The B men that have the looks but not the finances might accept a lot of bullshit due to the fact that they are not financially stable. They might be dependent upon the extra income of the woman, or because of their lack of money, might find it a little difficult to date other women. And the C men, well, they pretty much accept anything because they have no choice. On the other hand, the A men do not and will not accept any shit. They don't have to. And since these are the men that most black women want, attitude adjustments are definitely in order.